We've been working with Catapult for a few months now. It was a really good changeover. We've been able to bring all the different teams at the club in line with each other now, so everyone's using the same technology, which is really important for us. And obviously it's something that we use every day in training, and we're also using for games now as well. So it allows us to have continuity across all the training load data that we're collecting throughout the week. The lads wear GPS, which is like a little pod that's worn in what looks like a sports bra effectively. It's something that I think most people are accustomed to seeing now that professional footballers wear. So yeah, we get a lot of information from that little sort of unit and can tell us a lot of different things, and we use that data over every training session. We look at a range of different metrics to basically track what the players are doing during training and during games, so we can get an understanding of the sort of physical load that they're experiencing. GPS tends to be things like total distance, the max speed that they can hit, the amount of distance that they cover at certain speed zones. So we'll look at like the higher speed running and sprint distance and things like that. And then one of the big things with Catapult, one of the things that we wanted to sort of change over for really was the ability to look at sort of multi-directional movements in a little bit more depth, and that's something that we feel that Catapult's been sort of pivotal and allowed us to investigate that further within the training week. Catapult's a really important part of what we do, but it's not the only thing that we do. We've got a lot of different sort of data sources, if you like, and over the training week and over longer periods as well, we'll use all those data sources in conjunction with each other to be able to understand whether a player's doing too much, whether they need to do more, whether they respond well to a certain type of training, or whether they respond better to other types of training, that sort of thing. We give all the information to the players now, so everything that we collect, they see that. So we upload that up to our sort of sharing system, and the players can see that from every single session. And I think it's really important from our perspective that the players understand that, because ultimately we need them to buy into what they're doing. It's not something that we can do on our own. Ultimately they're the ones who are doing the work, they're the ones that are doing the running. So if we want them to do more or want them to be quicker, whatever it may be, it's important that they obviously understand the information that we're seeing, so that they can understand what they need to do to make themselves better. On one side of things, I think their sort of openness to change is really key for us. Obviously we provide feedback to Catapult on a regular basis, and their openness to taking that feedback on board and improving the system that they provide to us is really important. On the other side of things, I think from what they currently provide at the moment, the big thing that was attractive to us to change over to Catapult was the ability to look in more depth at multi-directional load. I think that's something that maybe other GPS companies are a little bit behind with, and Catapult are really sort of the leader in that field, and that was quite a big factor in getting us to change over. When people look at, your average person can go and do a 5k run, a 10k run, and would probably do it in a lot less time than what players would cover those distances within a game. So, from our perspective, the really important things that can firstly contribute to the fatigue of a player, but can also increase their risk of injury, would be those sort of different sort of movements that you wouldn't do in your normal 5k run. So those change of direction, accelerations, decelerations, contacts with other players, things like that. So they're for us really key metrics that give us a better understanding of what players are actually doing during games, on top of just understanding the distances that they're running. It's been sort of plain to see this season the amount of young players that are coming through the academy. It's probably been the case for a couple of seasons now really, but it's something that we're getting a better grip on now. So we know that we're going to be looking for players who can come through from the academy, and if we can look at their data, when they're playing for the under-16s, under-18s, under-21s, and we can then match that up with the demands of what they have to do in the first team. That can give us a little bit of a head start on identifying which players are maybe ready to come over and train or play with us at this current moment in time. And it can also give us an idea of maybe where certain players might need to work on particular weaknesses to get them up to speed so that they can be with us in the near future. One of the things that I think the owners and the general hierarchy at the club are quite big on is that sort of like one club feel. And I know obviously it's something that probably gets said quite a lot nowadays, but I think it is something that's genuinely in place here. Obviously we're all together on site at the High Performance Centre, and being able to sort of have conversations around the same sort of information where everyone understands and are on the same page. I think that's vital for sort of the development of the staff as well as the development of the players that those staff are working with.